Hi guys. Welcome. How are you? The Architect of Silence. Episode 5. The Penthouse Break-In. The Unseen Alliance. Sarah stared at the structural report on Elias's desk. Her composure completely shattered. The report wasn't about the audit. It was about danger. A time bomb ticking beneath the most valuable asset of the Thorne Empire. Sarah, voice barely a whisper. This is impossible. The structural integrity is compromised. Elias. Marcus slashed the costs, Sarah. He built the throne you sit on out of cheap parts. The tower you boast about is a death trap in 10 years. You chose to be a part of a lie. Now you can choose to be a part of the truth. Sarah didn't look at Elias. She looked at the report. Her loyalty to the Thorne future was suddenly at war with the realization that her success was built on a crumbling, dangerous foundation. Elias. I don't need your help with the revenge, Sarah. I need your silence. And if you want the Thorne legacy to survive your brother's greed, you'll find a way to secure the documentation he's holding in his private penthouse server before he flees the country. He had just given her a taste of the ultimate truth. Marcus was a threat to everyone, including her. The plan. Operation Wine Cooler. The target was Marcus Thorne's private digital vault, a powerful server disguised as a custom wine cooler in his exclusive penthouse. The objective was to download the files Marcus was preparing to delete, records of his father's complicity in the initial fraud, which Marcus was planning to use as a shield. Elias called Chloe. Elias, on a new burner phone. I need the location of the wine cooler server and the key to his home office. Tonight. Chloe, voice tight with adrenaline. He's at a political fundraiser until midnight. The key is under the fake bonsai tree on his desk. The server is hidden behind a revolving bookshelf in the living room. Be fast, Elias. He has a panic button directly linked to private security. Elias didn't use Leo for this. He needed physical, silent access. He went alone, relying only on the security blueprints he had studied for years. He scaled the fire escape of the adjacent building, crossed the 50-foot gap using a temporary maintenance beam, and entered the penthouse through an unlocked service door, a flaw in the security system he himself had designed years ago. The heart of the Empire. Marcus Thorne's penthouse was opulent, cold, and utterly empty of any personal warmth. Elias located the bonsai tree, retrieved the small, decorative key, and quickly disabled the internal alarms on the home office door. He found the wine cooler server. It was a state-of-the-art machine, humming quietly. He inserted a prepared, bespoke data siphon, a small device that could copy the server's entire contents in minutes without leaving a digital trace. While the data siphoned, Elias risked a moment to search Marcus's private desk. He was looking for any physical evidence that linked Chloe to the recent leaks. He found nothing, but he did find a framed photograph. Marcus, Chloe, and Arthur, smiling at a company Christmas party, a painful reminder of the life he was excluded from. He was about to leave when his phone buzzed. It was a direct, terrifying alert from Leo's monitoring software. Marcus Thorne's vehicle had just entered the underground parking garage. The siphon truth, cliffhanger. Elias, internal monologue 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes maximum before he walks through that door. The data siphon was only 80% complete. Elias yanked the device out, the transfer incomplete, but the crucial files related to Arthur's financial indiscretions were secured. He quickly replaced the decorative key under the bonsai tree. He grabbed his bag and headed back toward the maintenance door, moving silently through the dark living room. He heard the faint ping of the elevator opening. Marcus was home. Elias had seconds. He slammed the maintenance door shut and bolted the physical locks just as he heard Marcus's voice shouting from the foyer. Marcus, angry, slurring slightly. "I swear I heard something. Someone's been in the office. Call security." Elias was trapped in the tight service corridor. He had no choice. He smashed the corridor's emergency alarm button, triggering a deafening siren that filled the penthouse. Chaos was the best distraction. As the security sirens wailed, Elias descended the fire escape. The building was now lit up like a Christmas tree, security personnel streaming toward Marcus's unit. Elias got away clean, but he knew what he had done. He had put Marcus on high alert. Marcus knew he was under attack, and he was cornered. Sage. Elias drives away, the data siphon clutched in his hand. He knows the data he got is a game changer, but he also knows he just escalated the war from sabotage to open combat. He has the bomb, but Marcus is now actively looking for the fuse. The parents' intervention. The broken man. The intrusion into the penthouse threw the Thorne dynasty into chaos. Marcus, humiliated and paranoid, accused his own security chief of incompetence and fired him on the spot. Arthur Thorne, realizing his son was losing control, was forced to intervene. The day after the break-in, Elias received a text from an anonymous, untraceable number. Elias. Meeting. Grand Central Park. Midnight. Do not inform Chloe. This is personal. Elias knew the sender immediately. Arthur Thorne. The Patriarch was seeking a private truce with the man he had publicly humiliated. Elias arrived at the park, finding Arthur seated on a lonely stone bench, looking older and deeply exhausted. Arthur Thorne. I know it was you, Elias. The audit, the structural questions, the break-in. It's too intelligent, too surgical to be anyone else. You've always been too clever for your own good. Elias. I was too clever for your good, Arthur. You stole my credit and gave it to your favored children. I'm taking back the future you tried to destroy. Arthur Thorne. I apologize for the way we handled the Azure Spire, but you must stop. You are destroying my family's legacy. This company is worth billions. The collateral damage will be catastrophic. Elias. The damage was catastrophic 5 years ago when you let Marcus compromise the Azure Spire Foundation to save a few $1,000,000. And now he's trying to sell the Olympus Tower to investors while actively engaging in tax fraud. The father's bargain. Arthur's gaze was desperate, not angry. What do you want, Elias? Name your price. I will pay you any amount to walk away. Take your talent and vanish. I will sign over the Ether IP you claim. Elias. You misunderstand, Arthur. I don't want your money. I want justice. You let your son make a criminal out of an honest man, and now you're paying the price. Arthur leaned forward, his voice dropping to a low, powerful growl. You don't understand the power you're playing with. If you bring down Marcus, the auditors won't stop there. They will go all the way back to the family's original holdings. Sarah will lose everything, Elias. Your sister. She is collateral damage in your war. The mention of Sarah, his sister, was the precise leverage Arthur thought he held. Elias. Sarah chose her side, Arthur. She chose the throne built on a lie. She had 5 years to reach out, to warn me, to apologize. She didn't. She only spoke to me when she needed to defend Marcus. She is responsible for her own fate. Arthur Thorne. And Chloe. Do you truly believe the woman who climbed into bed with the enemy deserves your protection? She is manipulative, Elias. She is playing a long game. Elias. Internal monologue. He's right. I can't trust Chloe, but I need her information. The final offer. Arthur presented his final, calculated plea. Arthur Thorne. I will publicly disinherit Marcus. I will remove him from the board and install Sarah as CEO. She is salvageable. I will then sign a contract guaranteeing you the lead architect position on all future Thorne projects for life, with full credit and no interference. You win, Elias. Marcus loses everything, and Sarah's career is saved. You get your vengeance and your ambition. Elias looked out over the dark park. The offer was tempting. It would satisfy the revenge against Marcus and give him professional redemption. But it left the structural fraud and the financial crime exposed, which would eventually destroy the company anyway. More importantly, it was Arthur's control, Arthur's decision. Elias wanted the destruction to be his choice. Elias. I appreciate the offer, Arthur, but I don't want a seat at your table. I want to burn the table down. The only way this ends is when the law, not you, decides the fate of your company. Elias stood up. I've secured the structural reports from the vault. I have the files on Marcus's personal offshore accounts. And I have the inflated financial projections. Your choices are over, Arthur. The fuse is lit. The parting shot, cliffhanger. Arthur, defeated, watched Elias walk away. But as Elias reached the path, Arthur shouted one last warning. Arthur Thorne. If you destroy Marcus, I will tell the authorities about Chloe. She was complicit. She signed the original marketing waiver for the Azure Spire launch. I will personally ensure she faces criminal charges. Elias stopped, his back still facing Arthur. He knew Arthur was capable of this. He had the structural evidence to expose the safety risk, but Chloe had the financial evidence to expose the tax fraud. If Arthur dragged Chloe down, Elias would lose his main asset, and potentially the woman he still painfully cared for. Elias, without turning around, cold and clear. Then I suggest you focus all your energy on silencing your son, Arthur. Because if she falls, I promise you, I will make sure the fall takes down every single person in your family. Sage. Elias walks away, but the threat against Chloe has changed everything. He now has a ticking clock, and his personal feelings are directly jeopardizing his entire plan.